This is Sheshacham from Ascendant, Mysore. Today I am dealing with the subject of Venus in the south, in the 11th house, and this is an excellent position for any planet to be posited there. But one should understand first what are actually the most important significations of the 11th house. 11th house is known as the Labhasthana. Labha means the way the money, the profits. Labha directly means profit. Profit is not earning. Profit is not earning. Earnings come from the second house, that is Dhanasthana. So the Labha means that earnings, when they are invested somewhere, or if there are some, let us say, some parental property or some other property which is there from your lineage that your great grandparents had invested in, and you are getting the dividends or rental income or things which are coming from there, it's coming from there, you are not putting your effort there. That is what is known as the profit. Though people might suggest that investment is also an effort, you don't simply throw money somewhere and get it back. So investment is like you do a lot of planning and then you do investments, speculative investments or fixed deposits, or let us say like mutual investment, mutual schemes where you go for investments like MIS, monthly income schemes. So these investments are also, the income from these investments which are known as profit is also to be seen from the 11th house. The crux of the 11th house is that the planet posited there will initiate or motivate the native to make money through its means. That is, that particular planetary planet will start urging or motivating or suggesting the person as to how he has to make the money. If ethical planets like Venus, as what I'm talking today, is being placed there, usually a perfect Venus is a perfect adept. Adept is the sense that a perfect student, a perfect sannyasi. If it is placed in the 11th house, it never allows you to get married. First of all, you will not have children, and then you will be focused towards research or towards any one particular field in your life, and you will go deep into it into such a level that society acclaims you as one of the great achievers, like getting the Nobel Prize or an Oscar or anything like that. So this is also a way of making fame and money, right? So if you are going into, getting an Oscar, you just don't get it just like that. So you need to put a lot of hard work and you need to put a lot of your own self involvement into it, a lot of commitment. So usually you don't get a perfect Venus sitting in the 11th house. You get one or the other thing happening. The 11th Lord will somewhere get either debilitated or sitting with some other planet. So there will be some problem with the 11th house. So not everybody, even in 1 crore, a person suddenly cannot become the perfect sannyasi. So, but still, talking about a materialistic planet giving you a sannyasa yoga, this only happens with Venus when it is perfectly placed there. But still, if it is not, then it will show the ways and the means the native is trying to make money through. He will earn money through his second house, and then where will he invest it? Whether he'll put it in the stocks, whether he'll put it in the market, whether he'll put it safely in the bank, or whether he'll construct a house and give it on rent, or whether he'll invest on a land and wait for it to grow. All this can be seen from the 11th house. So Venus, the person will make a good lot of money and he'll be very rich. This is one of the criteria or a factor for a Dhana Yoga. Of the most important Dhana Yogas, Venus in the 11th house or Saturn in the 11th house is one of the strongest Dhana Yogas. 5th and 11th being strong. So, they are very highly skillful and they get reformed into higher elevated thinking after a few years of their age. After they pass their middle age, they get refined into higher thinking individuals. So how come it suddenly will happen? It will not suddenly happen. It will take its own beautiful time. But why does it happen? First of all, because the seventh house, sorry, the 11th house is the third from the ninth house, which actually is the thing, all those things what you have learned from your guru, from your mentor, and where do you act. The activities of the ninth is the ninth, the 10th, and the 11th. That is where, if Venus is posited, you will activate your life, you will actively involve yourself into service or into those particular teachings. You will yourself involve into it, or you will try to be a leader where you will take people into that particular direction, in the path of that particular. If it is a bad motivation, obviously you will go into the bad line. If it is a good motivation, or the ninth house is very good, then the 11th house 100%, it will give you fantastic results of refinement. So they can do business through art, fine arts, performing arts, carvings, paintings, and architecture. So it can also go into business like interior designing. So a lot of good businesses, they make a lot of money through the, they can also become rich through the opposite gender. This is one yoga in which you get married and you become rich, or you get married to a person who actually has a super status in life, or will gain that super status in life through her or his hard work. And you will also be there in the married life, so you will also get all those benefits. So ethical livings, sometimes, because it is a benefic planet, if it is associated with another benefic like moon or a Jupiter, they become quite selfish. They start hoarding money, they become a little greedy. So that is because too many benefics in the 11th house is not recommended as a great position, until unless it's a pure position. But usually more than one planet in the 11th house, impurity creeps in very easily. So physical desire, or sensual desire is very high, the urge is very high. So they, if Venus is not purely posited, I have very clearly taken that out, that let us say that Venus is ordinarily posited in the 11th house, which is for most of the cases. So they have a lot of urge, the physical desire is very high to have intimate relationship with the opposite gender, or intimate relationship. They can trade in gems, jewelry, artistic jewelry, all this fashion jewelry, which is also imitation jewelry. They can do fantastic work with these types of particular things, like, diamonds which are not real diamonds, but they are imitations. So they can do very good in these type of jewelry. So they have influential friends in very high circles. So high political circles, and also people who are famous, they have friends in those circles. And a position which might give rise to a very strong Dana Yoga, as I have told earlier. I have just made some points so that I can put it across in a sequential manner. So if it is very badly posited, then they have tendencies towards addiction, tendencies towards affairs, tendency towards unnecessarily investing into things and losing money suddenly. So if 11th house is, suggests lottery, getting sudden money, 11th house also suggests sudden loss because of stupid investments. So because it is the 12th from the 12th, it is the second from the 10th, no doubt. That is, it is the Dhanasthana for the 10th house. But it is also the Vyayasthana. That is, how do you lose your money? So what are all the ideas you put in to lose your money? That is also the 11th house. So when the 11th house is badly posited, the person should not go into speculative investments, and he has to check the papers 100 times, or not 100 times, to be perfect on the other side. Just it's a phrase of the sentence to say that 100 times. But you need to check those papers to see that you are not putting it somewhere, you are not dumping your money somewhere. So uh, they also have this, intimidate. They get intimidated very fast. seeing an opponent who is strong. The 11th house also gives phobia, fear, so it can also give affairs, which can also result into STD, which is sexually transmitted diseases. So because it is the seventh from the fifth house, it can affect fertility very fast. So it is also the Purva Punya Sthana for the seventh house. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Purva Punya Sthana for the seventh house. So if the 11th house is well posited, you will once again get a good virtuous spouse. You will get a nice, handsome husband. So that 11th house is very important in that particular angle. So they are very scholarly, they have wisdom and a lot of introspection. So this is not just wisdom, it is like you put that wisdom into the acid test and check whether whatever I have learned is really applicable or not. So these people go into the level of learning something and testing it also. It's not like that I have learned something from my guru and everything is fine, that is the correct thing. So they will not simply go into that blind belief. It's not that all gurus simply teach you something and you don't have to believe them blindly, but still, Venus, these people will test it. Reasoning power is very high. So they are scholars, they are agriculturists, florists, they are good, very good in commodity marketing or business. So it's like they can take a franchise and sell goods. They are very good at it. So usually because it is the sixth from the sixth house, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it is the sixth from the sixth, Rogasthana. So if it is badly posited, then people can get problems like varicose veins, like problems of the pulmonary disorders, problems of the cardiac, that is the heart, variable BP, sometimes suddenly low, sometimes suddenly high. So there are many different types of difficulties a person can go through when there is, Venus in the 11th house. Let us say, Venus means beautiful colors, beauty, and if it is marred with, let us say, a bad moon in the chart and a Ketu or something like that having a strong influence over Venus, or Venus only, not moon, Venus, and then a weak Mercury in the chart, then these people can get problems like vitiligo, that is the white patches over the body, that is the melanin pigment losing its color. It's not an illness or a disease, it is just a deficiency. So these things can happen. Skin diseases can happen. That too in the visible parts like the face, on the arms. So it will be visible. So this has to be gone through in detail to understand the further levels of medical astrology. Thank you very much for today's class.